actually had Scripe donate, so I think it's cute that Sko's insecure about wearing glasses, but he looks good in them.
Welcome, welcome.
Was that actually your donation, sir?
I can tell you that Jimmy actually mentioned again on VoiceCom several times that if he comes to an event again, he never wants to sit next to Gingy.
What's about Gingy?
He said that Gingy is constantly bouncing his chest and
Too distracting.
and also doing something else that we won't discuss on stream.
How much more often is Deep Shade looking at shoes than he is at paying attention to the raid?
I actually don't know for the last boss. I don't know, but I was so surprised when I was sitting next to him that he is full screening music videos on a second screen.
Oh, wait. Not just wait.
He does that, yeah.
Like,
Fabo.
I'm sitting on my second screen. I have logs open. I have like a video footage shadow play from the boss, and then I look to Fabo. I see the music video full screen.
Your second monitor sometimes gets picked up on one of like the break cameras, so we're always just like, what is he looking at?
What is he looking at?
It's someone modeling something. So not strat-based at all. You're not looking at Scripe documents. You are just planning your treat-yourself moment that you have now.
I respect it. I respect
Yeah.
it.
It's just like, I know that I have a peanut brain and can't really help with tactics. So I'm just like, let them talk honestly, and I'm just checking like some cool items out, you know?
What did you think of that encounter? And we talked, and I want to like curve into the whole healing discussion first because you were playing Boomkin. How much actually off-healing were you actually doing to like sort of quell the discussion about how it wasn't technically only two healed? Scripe said that their two discipline players could have just done it by themselves.
Mike and me, so Gingy and me were like the only ones playing Rest of Affinity, but I was doing like most of the off healing part because I was also basically AFK in first phase. I didn't use CDs. I dotted some targets here and there a little bit. I don't know. There was not really a big reason to do that, but we had a DPS stop either way, so I was like CBA using cooldowns and forcing the raid team to do like a DPS stop for 10-15 seconds, so I just don't use and I off heal. Yeah. Most of the time it was just you went over and I hit tanks or whatever during the intermission, where it was more about survival and not killing the boss.
Twitch chat are desperate to hear a healer review.
Yes, they are.
I'm all about listening to Twitch chat. So can you give us a very, very quick rundown on the healers and your reviews on them?
Okay, I'm going to start with the people who weren't in the fight. So Plotter, he was doing the healing officer job. He was assigning CDs, and he was also sometimes like doing this raid leading outside the raid thing. He did some good calls in phase 3. Also tell them what CD suppress. He didn't play that much. I mean, player skill-wise, if he was in the fight, I think he would have been good. But I think Jeeth also had more practice on the paladin than him. So he just said, okay, Jeeth just played. It doesn't make sense that I just stay outside and raid lead this. Jeeth itself, he is a really good player. I mean, I couldn't compare him to Josh and Ken really. I don't know that much how good he is. I don't know about he is exactly that much how good, but he was a good player. He made a few mistakes. I think we're happy with him. It was also his first tier with us. Josh and Zelia, I mean, Josh has always played really good. He doesn't just play good, he also gives his opinion on the strategies and stuff that we're doing. He's good with math and he can understand things. What kind of healing do we need here? What kind of DPS do we need here? He can also like say stuff about non-healing stuff. He can just help. Like Roger, it's usually me, Roger. Then it's just Wade a little bit and Josh a little bit helping out. And then Ken, I think I don't know exactly. I'm not looking at the healing numbers, but he's always healing so much. So he must be doing something right.
There we go, guys. MDI champion on the cat. Oh, sorry.
Go.
Second place. But
I came second.
Oh, second place. But Method still won the MDI.
That's true. Yeah.
yeah, that is
It's true. The NA team won.
Yeah, and
But
that's all that counts, right?
No.
The best thing is Scripe is like always thinking about the next phase, what could we do better?
Yeah.
And he's like, after 100 tries again, man, how can you talk every single first phase? Can't you be quiet for once? Like, can't you play the game as well like I do? He's always getting so triggered when we just
So
move around.
I'm assuming that you're one of the naughty boys, the naughty brothers in the raid group. Who are the other naughty boys in the raid group who are always getting in trouble with Scripe?
Narcolis for sure.
No.
Like Narcolis just has to start breathing. Like the sound of Narcos breathing already triggers Scripe, I think.
Is Narco?
Honestly, everyone can get hit by Scripe. Yeah, when Scripe is in a bad mood or like you say at the wrong point something. I don't want to make him out to be a tyrant or anything, but Scripe can be quite bad. Yeah, like sometimes you just rather be quiet. Yeah.
Just the captain running the ship.
How do you feel after all of this craziness?
Mostly relieved that we made it. It was quite stressful the last few days.
Yeah, I can
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I was scared when I woke up and saw that they're getting better, yeah? I saw them playing the third Overlord, and I was like, maybe I miscalculated. And like, maybe they can make it and we don't.
How was it having Roger back in comms for this whole raid tier? Was it like the piece of the puzzle that was missing? We talked about missing him with Crucible of Storms.
Obviously, Roger helped a lot. I think this year would have been much tighter between the guilds if Roger wasn't there. He, up until last was actually, there was not much contribution. And I was like, maybe, you know, he's not gonna do much because, you know, he had the army stuff and he didn't really focus on the game. He only had one character. He didn't even know what some boss mechanics do because he didn't do as many heroic splits. We did it with 8 characters and he did it only with 1. So, and he spent time like farming pearls and stuff. But on the last boss, especially when he also had some more time to, you know, get used to the boss, he did really good contributions. I mean, the soaking mechanic, for example, I could sometimes just forget about it and let him handle if there was a problem. Whereas usually I need to definitely look over each mechanic and make sure everything is handled. But Roger had big contributions there.
Is SCO the problem?
No.
Oh!
I mean, if it wasn't, you know, we wouldn't be winning after.
Oh, it's
like,
true.
Definitely not.
Yes.
But are you agree with Deep Shades agrees. Scott needs a new emote. SCO glasses.
Yeah.
Gingy,
Yes.
who would you give your MVP to for the raid?
The 2 healers.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think they probably played, not HPS-wise, but mechanically the hardest fight they probably have ever played.
Wow.
And did a super good job doing it. So to Josh and to Zalia,
Yep.
I'll give my MVP.
What about the 2 brilliant tanks that you had in the raid as well? No, I don't disagree with Gingy. I think having Josh and Zalia in the raid, the two healers, I think they're like among the best healers in the world for sure. I've actually ever since playing with Zalia, this is a long. He was in the guild a long time ago actually before he went pro in Heroes of the Storm, and then obviously the whole HGC scene thing happened. But Zalia has always been one of the best healers, if not the best healer I've ever played the game with.
This is something that I've been telling everybody here that you've been telling me
like
for years.
in the older version of Method, we used to have Zalia and we used to have Barek, a disc priest healer, and I used to think that Zalia and Barek were probably the 2 best healers that I'd ever played with. Zalia and Josh in this recent raid in particular, they've been super solid. Yeah,
They complement each other so much because Zalia on the mechanical side of things is super good. Right, you can put him in to anything and he'll do great at it. Whereas Josh is like super good with numbers, and he can go in and tell Zalia, this is the things you need to do. This is where you need to pop your cooldowns. This is where you need to do your HPS, and this is like a healing requirement.
That's awesome.
And he can go in and perform it perfectly, right? So as a 2-man team, they're super good and they bounce off each other.
88% of the time, big smile on your face between pulls. Other times, super serious.
Well, I mean, how can you not smile? You're here with all the boys. Just some nerds can make such an event.
Yeah.
It's nice that like so many guilds, even though they perhaps don't take part with our event, it still pushes everything.
Yeah,
and it's nice that guilds like
absolutely.
Limit and Pieces are also like streaming.
Thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in. Thank you so much to the community that surrounded this event and made this event actually even possible from the very start, right? I mean, it's all you guys in Twitch chat who are, you know, all that memes and all that banter between the teams and whatnot that make this event such a big thing.
If Blizzard is watching, what could be super cool for the next Race the World's First is if we get a global release. I think everyone would like to see that.